From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of evenings LALATE as huge news heats up, and that huge news involves the pipeline that feeds all of Western Europe could be turned off. Plus, we'll be looking at the latest details on that job number released last Friday as labor is falling apart. Plus, a big week heating up as Wall Street reacts to the news of more interest rates coming from the Federal Reserve. We'll have the latest details you need to know. But the big news for you is that there's a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state and not just one. In this recording, we're going to go over those incredible checks. Upwards of 14 categories of 100 to 200 checks for you to get $100 to $200,000. Viewers have been getting since the month of March. Now we're in September. We got more categories of checks tonight on Evenings LA. We're going to go over those incredible sums of money, and then we're going to go over the other money that you're going to get, and that is lifetime stimulus. The raise of your benefits is going up a lot. Some of you 5,000, some of you less. The breaking news tonight on Evenings. Then we'll be turning to the housing market as it continues to fall apart. What you need to know as the prices of homes is now falling dramatically across the board. What's going on that inflationary front and why is it so important for your benefits? We'll have the latest details you need to know across the board. And then we'll be going back into that lifetime of stimulus and those 14 categories of 100 to 200 checks for you to get. Big news across the board tonight. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, we have a lot to go over, plus the latest on that earnings recession, major companies downward guided and which ones not. And then we'll get a preview of new shows coming to this broadcasting family. Yes, new shows that are going to help you get big sums of money. Those new shows are coming to LA2 and LA3, the broadcasting family you're watching on this channel. And we'll have the latest details of that big money that heats up from the shores of Santa Monica, California. The breaking news this week, Jay Powell, myself, and Sir Lauren. Not necessarily in that order. Everything you need to know, and get ready for Decentraland and your latest details on the cryptocurrency. Oh, baby, we got a big night across the board from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Let's get to the breaking news. It's your money tonight. It's all your money. We're going to go over the benefit raise, your housing market, your unemployment, your fourth stimulus. The breaking news starts right here, right now on Evenings. And good evening, everybody. It is a big night across the board, and there's a lot of breaking news tonight. For a September 6, 2022, we start, of course, with those massive stimulus. Massive stimulus. We have not only lifetime of stimulus, but also we have the big money at issue. Big money at issue. 14 categories of stimulus checks that pay 100 to 200 checks. We're going to go over all those incredible checks for you in the big second half of a preview of them in just a second. The raise of your benefits, that's getting bigger by the minute because we had data that came in Friday. The wage inflation, it's looking really good. Then the housing market not looking that good as the prices of homes falling dramatically. And then, baby, Decentraland over in Crypto Universe getting better and bolder. And guess why? Because your favorite show is back on, baby. On LA3 is coming the Decentraland Metaverse cryptocurrency programming. Baby, we have a lot of money to go over tonight. And of course, if you missed Sir Loin earlier today, he misses you as well. He went from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and so did Blaine 66. We'll have a preview of what's coming up with those threesomes later in this recording from the shores of Santa Monica, California. But tonight, there's a lot of major breaking news we're going to start with, which, of course, is the shocker. 14 categories of stimulus checks are now on this channel. It was just a few weeks ago, just a month ago, that I had 3 categories, A, B, and C, that paid out $100,000. And those were great then. But I wanted more for you. And so I have now gotten 14 categories of stimulus checks for you in every U.S. state, federal stimulus, that yield about 100 to 200 checks, huge sums of money. about $100,000 to $200,000. We're going to go over those incredible checks that viewers like Dragon have gotten $143,000 to this channel. Lingland, 12 months of utilities. And even a wonderful view out of Florida, Frank Mancuso, who got 18 months of checks. Just incredible details. We're going to go over all of that in a second. Stay to the very end. Big money coming to you. Become a member under this video. But one of the major stories that started this morning, and it got buried in the news, but I think it's very important, is the Nord Stream 1 pipeline. And this is the pipeline that feeds natural gas, the utilities, to keep you warm in Western Europe from Russia. Turned off about 2-3 months ago for routine maintenance, and no one thought it was going to come back on. It has not come back on. And tonight, the head of the Russian Kremlin press operatives said it's not coming back on because there are sanctions against Russia. Big problems. And those big problems could affect you and your wallet back in the States. I'll go over why in just a second. Now, the other major story that started on Friday and continued today was the August payroll numbers. The August payroll numbers that give you an indication of how many jobs are created in this economy were big news for you and your benefits, big news for you and stimulus, big news on so many fronts. We'll go over why starting right now. In the month of July, the U.S. economy added a lot of jobs. Private sector, 526,000 to be exact. And then we were waiting for that August number released last Friday. And did it come in looking strong? No. It came in looking weak and puny and not very buff. It came in at only 315,000 new jobs. 315,000 compared to the month before of 526,000. Yes. In fact, it was even lower than Wall Street estimates. Now, buried in that data were two data points that are big news for you. Number one, the unemployment rate. The White House had been resting their hat on this one for a long time, saying it's the lowest unemployment rate since 1969. No longer the case tonight, because the number jumped 0.2 percentage points to 3.7%. The other number released in that Friday number that's huge news, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad Benefits, is wage inflation. You know why. Wage inflation is part of the calculation to determine how much inflation is going up or staying the same or going down. And that wage inflation went up month to month. It shocked everyone, including myself. It went up 0.3% month to month compared to the prior month and 5.2% year to date. This is huge news for you and your benefits because it's another component of inflation that is the same or higher. Let's go over overview of what this is, and we'll go more back into the details of these inflationary pressures that are helping raise your benefits. We start with understanding your benefits are going up a lifetime. This is what we call a lifetime stimulus. Yes. Let's say your benefits went up 10% this year. That would not be just this year, it'd be a lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Why are your benefits going up? Your benefits are going up because inflation is at the highest price point of a generation. You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits. And ultimately what we're trying to look for is any inflationary data that shows that inflation is flat or higher. And that data released on Friday shows one of the components of inflation went higher, and it's wages. This is big news for you. And it starts by understanding your benefits. They're going to go up a lot. 5,000, some of you less, some of you more. And this is you if you're on SSI and SSDI. We'll go over the calculation of how much your benefits are going to go up in a second. But first, let's understand why they're going up. Inflation. Inflation has been hitting this U.S. economy in record numbers, and I was the only broadcaster to report that the U.S. inflation rate would be 8% last year and not be temporary. Tonight, it's still there as well. Let's go over what happened in the month of May. In the month of May, inflation came at a whopping number, the highest of a generation. How high was that? May 2022 inflation. Let's look right now. Shocking, 8.6%. Then in June, it went even higher. Let's look and see what it did. 9.1%. July release last week came in at 8.5, 2 weeks ago, came in at 8.5 CPI. But this is great news for your benefits because your benefits are going up a lot. The July data the June data showed that the CPI was rising, the PPI was rising, and the retail sales. Three components, three benchmarks of inflation. But in the last few days, it's gotten exciting because the retail sales is flat, the PPI is flat, and your CPI is all flat. This, again, is big news for your benefits. Let's go over why. Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, COLA, and it determines how much your benefits go up every year. It's determined by another number, the CPI, released in the month of July for the month of July, August, and September. The data comes out a month later. So July came out on August 10th. August data comes out around September 10th, just a few days from now. And the September data comes out on October 10th. Well, we need to see if this inflation is about the same or higher, because if it is, you get the biggest lift of your generation of your benefits. So what is the data we're looking at right tonight? Well, it's getting very interesting. Gasoline is tracking lower, domestic and internationally. But milk and eggs, jump in the live chat. What do you think? I see the eggs are going up, and I see the milk is going down. Agree or disagree? Then when we jump over to salaries, well, it's getting interesting tonight. And salaries are definitely going up month to month. What about rent? We don't know about rent, and I wish we did. We don't have any rent data. 30% of the CPI comes from that rent. So let's go back to the calculation of how much your benefits are going up, because Purple Hawks, this is where it gets really exciting. Your benefits are going up a lot, definitely. Everyone gets the same percentage raise, direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. You don't have to do anything for this money. Absolutely incredible. But how much are they going up? Well, the Seniors League, when looking at data from that August 10th CPI for the month of July, released August 10th, said that if that stays the same, your benefits could go up 10.1%. Do I agree or disagree? I think it's a little bit conservative. I really do think it's a little bit conservative. Because if the component parts are going up month to month, then this may be flat. Ultimately, it's really dependent on one factor, gasoline. And gasoline is very, very hard to predict at the moment. Gasoline could go through the roof if their refinery goes offline because of a hurricane or natural disaster. We have a lot of that happening in the Gulf of Mexico and off the state of Florida right tonight. That could send gasoline through the roof. Gasoline could also go higher if the production is cut. Well, yesterday, OPEC Plus cut production just nominally, but it's making everyone question what's going on here. And also if demand increases and production decreases. Really hard to say, but I think it's on the conservative side of 10%. Remember, if you make about $1,000 a month in benefits, that would mean that would be $1,100 if it's 10% raise. If your benefits check is $800 a month, if it's a 10% raise, that would be about $880 is how much you get. Fascinating. We'll be tracking this throughout the week on this channel. The other major story hitting tonight, of course, is that earnings front. That earnings front with more corporations downward guiding, and that downward guidance is coming. But the reason why you got to get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state is because the inflation is so high. 3 checks were passed in the month of March by President Joe Biden, and they are check A, B, and C. $100,000, you qualify. Single individual, $75,000, let's go get it. Married couple, $100,000, you go get it as well. On benefits, not on benefits. With children, not with children. Go get these incredible checks. We're going to go over all these incredible checks in the big second half. You deserve these big sums of money. Therefore, you go get these huge sums of money in the big second half. We're going to go over all these incredible checks across the board. Those are the first 3 categories of checks. Remember, A, B, and C. That have about 100 plus checks in there on this channel since March. But here is where it gets interesting. In the last 3 weeks, I have now brought you from 3 categories of checks to a whopping 14 categories of checks that yield now 100 to 200 checks and $100 to $200,000. The breaking news tonight is this. You now have 14 categories of 100 to 200 of checks for you to get. And those incredible checks have been passed. $100 to $200,000. And they're absolutely incredible. The breaking news is those checks are now available in every U.S. state you want to become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP, and get those incredible checks by becoming a member of the Purple Power family. And welcome to the new members and the continuing members across the board. Go under this video, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Where do we get the indications of a recession and not a recession? In those earnings reports. More companies reporting earnings today, and what do they say? Norwegian Cruises jumped 1.8% in pre-market trading when it got a long-term buying opportunity for Skyfall. FedEx dipping 1.5% on a Citi downgrade. CVS Health growing after it said it's going to buy Signify Health for $8 billion. If you like a Porsche, well, Volkswagen is going to go public with Porsche on the as an IPO. And then, if you like a beer, well, Budweiser rose 2.4% after an upgrade from the HSBC today across the board. Really incredible news, and that is among the major stories hitting tonight, left and right. The Treasury yields were going up based upon the news of the Federal Reserve, which we'll be touching on in just a second. But the other major story that I do want to touch on, of course, is that Nord Stream 1 pipeline statement. The leader of information services out of the Kremlin said the following. Dmitry Peskov, Kremlin spokesperson. Problems with pumping arose because of sanctions imposed against our country, this is Russia talking, and against a number of companies by Western states, including Germany and UK. So he says that the Nord Stream 1 pipeline will stay off and will not be going back online. This is big news for you and your wallet. Why? Because we're dependent upon the symbiotic relationship of the United States with countries like Germany and the UK. And now they do not have the amount of natural gas to heat their citizens this winter that they would have liked from because of Nord Stream 1 turned off. How it directly impacts your wallet, we will see in the next few weeks, but no one is really embedding this risk into the markets. Here we go again, with Wall Street not embedding that risk. This is why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. In the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks across the board. And now let's go over one of the great benefits to becoming a member of this channel. It's the worksheets. And what are those worksheets? The worksheets are a series of pages, a PDF you can print out from your cell phone or computer. And they are in the newsletter down around the third line. And tonight we have a lot of new details to put into those worksheets. Here are the worksheets. Again, the worksheets are in the newsletter Monday through Friday around the third line. Page 1, inflation, recession, labor, and Federal Reserve. What do we learn about inflation tonight? It's really interesting. If you think the gasoline is going to bring inflation down, well, what about the salaries bringing it up? What about the eggs bringing it back up? It's really interesting. What about the San Francisco hairstyle bringing it up? I don't know. Recession. 2 negative quarters of GDP growth have been posted in the U.S. economy. Yes, we're definitely in a recession. The White House's attempt to say you're not in a recession because the labor rate is so good is no longer so good. And then the labor rate and the jobless claims. Tomorrow, we get the jobless claims released by the Department of Labor. We were at 230 last week. Will we go higher or will we go lower? Here's what's interesting when we look at those jobless claims. They've really gone left and right in the last few weeks. They were 144, then 180, then 200, then 230, then 260. And then they fell back down to 245, and then they fell to 230. Going left and right, yeah, it's very, very hard to tell where they're going, but the Federal Reserve is not hard to gauge. And the breaking news on the Federal Reserve tonight is huge, and you need to listen to this starting right now. The breaking news on the Federal Reserve is that my opinion is the Federal Reserve is going to do 75 basis points at the FOMC meeting of September, then October, then November, and then December to battle that inflation. 75 basis point interest rate spikes from the Federal Reserve over the next few meetings is not out of the ordinary. What is out of the ordinary is that Wall Street is betting against that. That's why Wall Street has been falling so dramatically. I'll be going over more about this in the big second half. It's coming up in just a second. Now, the next page of the worksheets is the one in which the viewers have been really cleaning up. Here we go. It's a table to keep track of all your stimulus you're applied for. And let's go over how much stimulus there now is. There's an enormous amount of stimulus suddenly out of nowhere because I found it for you. I look high and low to find you the stimulus. It's not in broadcast media. It's not in print media. It's only here on this channel. And let's go over all this incredible money starting right now. These incredible stimulus started with checks A, B, and C in March. How much are those checks A, B? How many checks are there? So check A is one category, one check. But B and C is one category with lots of checks, upwards of 80 to 100. There you go. That's about 200 checks right there. Then we go into checks E through K, passed by Congress by executive action, passed by Congress by congressional action about 3 weeks ago. And those 7 categories, E through K, are each one check, one category. Then I found you 2 weeks ago L and M, and then last week N and O. That's a handful of checks right there, and we're going to go over all those incredible checks in just a second. The success stories keep on coming in. 2 viewers getting utilities for 12 months, including Lynn Glenn. 2 viewers getting 14 months of rent. Incredible. 2 viewers getting 18 months of checks out of Florida, and 1 viewer getting 80 plus checks. Why? She had applied for check B, but forgot she had, and she got approved for her mortgage and 4 utilities per month for 18 months. Folks, that's 5 checks times 18 months. That's 80 plus checks, nearly $100,000. It's not a rare occurrence because it's happening all the time on this channel. Longtime viewer, longtime volunteer, and triple member to this channel, Dragon, got $143,000. And the success stories keep on coming in. Lots of viewers are getting over $100,000 from this incredible forced stimulus. We'll show you how to get these big checks in the big second half. You want to keep track on those worksheets of all your checks you're applying for. And that is why that worksheet is so important. And when it was originally made, that individual page, it has only about 20 rows. Now we have about 100, 200 checks. And remember, Check C has 12 places to reach out to. So you have a lot of opportunities for checks. Print out an extra page of that second page of the worksheets. The next page of the worksheet is about your benefit raise. So run the different numbers. Remember, if you're making $1,100 a month and it goes up 10%, if it goes up 10%, then you get $1,100. If you make $800 a month and it goes up 10%, then you get $880. You can run those different numbers. Gasoline. The next page of the worksheet, really interesting. I'm not going to bet on this one. Gasoline is coming down both internationally and domestically, but many people worry about a lot of factors. I do as well. The refineries could go offline because of natural disaster, and those hurricanes do pick up right now. They're off the Gulf and out in the Atlantic. Also, decreased production. OPEC Plus did it last week. Could they do more of it? Increased demand? Yeah, there's a lot of factors that impact that across the board. Ultimately, this is why you have to become a member. Go around this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Pearl Power Casino VIP. And in the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks that you deserve one at a time. But now I want to turn to another major story hitting tonight because this impacts your wallet, and that impact is felt nationwide. In fact, it's in one of the most severe parts of the economy right tonight, and it's the most evident part of a recession underway. What is it? You know the answer. It's the housing. The housing has really fallen apart very quickly, very dramatically. It was a month ago that the existing home sales were down. The new home sales were down. The home builders' confidence was down. But yet some analysts said the housing's holding up because the prices are holding up. How much is that the case tonight? Not so much anymore. What happened in just a short period of time? Number one, a new report released on Friday shows that 20% of all homes on the market cannot get sold for their current price. So 20% of home sales have now cut the price of the home because they can't sell them at the current price. Yes, the prices are falling. What's causing the prices to fall? Because they can't sell the homes, and the inventory is increasing. Homes are now on the market no more than at least 5 more extra days because they're not closing. And then we have the price of the homes that are actually selling. These are the ones that actually get done. And they're really down dramatically. The median list price of homes compared to 2021 is down 14%. 14% in 1 year? Yes. And then compared to 2019, the median price of homes listed is down 42%. One thing I've never since 2019. One thing I never noticed till I ran this data today is that is the listing price. That's not the sell price. So people are listing the same home today 42% lower than they did in 2019, but that doesn't mean they got that price. Yeah, that means and that 20% still had to drop the price thereafter. It's not good. It's not good. In the big second half, we're going to go over what can get you through this precarious environment, this recession, this prolonged inflation, this continual interest rate hikes. You know what the answer is. Stimulus. And we got a lot of it. $100,000 to $200,000 of money, 100 to 200 checks, 14 categories of stimulus. It's coming up in the big second half. What do? You go into this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. You become a member and get ready for these big checks in the big second half. Then we got a preview of new shows coming to this channel. And one of them will launch today. And another one could be launching tomorrow or tonight. What are they? Oh boy. The big week is getting underway, and we're just getting started. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, I'll see you back in 60 seconds as more details heat up. But first up, your stimulus. See you back in 60 seconds. In the meantime, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. And I'll see you back shortly with all those incredible stimulus as we go over them one at a time. Tonight on Evenings.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now from the shores of Santa Monica, California, for a beautiful September 6, 2022. We'll be watching that inflationary data all this week as the CPI came in a little bit hotter on the component parts. The PPI was flat and the retail sales were flat. What does it mean for your benefits? We'll be watching that all weekend long. All week and all weekend long. Your benefits could be going up a lot. Plus, we'll be watching the latest details on the housing market. But now in the big second half, we're going to go over all those incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Those incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state started with 3 categories of checks initially. Checks A, B, and C, and then grew dramatically to 14 categories and 100 to 200 checks. Let's look at those incredible checks starting right now. Check A is a wonderful $6,500 to $12,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's a check that's spelling hot. And how do you get it? You know the routine. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, go under the video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Then go down to where it says Check A, click the link and go right in and apply. You're going to get it. You're going to get that incredible sums of money, Check A. There you go. But you're not done there yet. You're going to go get Check B. Check B is a wonderful $15,000 to $80,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. This is the check that Frank got out of Florida, plus the other view out of Florida. 80 to 100 checks. You deserve these big sums of money. How do you get them? Go under the video, become a member. Join the channel. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Welcome to all the new members to this channel. Welcome to all the returning members. Remember to keep your membership active, because a month ago we had just 3 checks. Tonight we have 100 to 200 checks over 14 categories. I'm looking high and low to get you the stimulus, and you don't want to let that membership lapse, because you'll miss potential checks. Go down and where you see Check B, click the link and go right and apply and go get it. There you go. Check A, Check B, $100,000. But we're not done there yet. You're going to go to Check C. It is for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And viewers have been getting it for a very long time. Where do you get it? You go under the video and join the channel. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. It'll tell you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. No less than 12 places to get 60, 80, 100 checks. That is incredible. And that's what we've been doing on this channel for 2 years. Let's look at some of the success stories of what viewers have gotten, as I've gotten viewers $50 million for this channel in the last 2 years. Look at these numbers. Do you want this for rent? Go get Check C. Viewers are getting $30,000 of rent from this channel. Do you want this for utilities? Go get Check C. Lynn Glenn last week getting 12 months of utilities. Viewers are routinely getting $15,000 of rent from this utilities for this channel. And here's Snap. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $250,000 over 10 years. I can't tell you how many people got Snap because they found this channel. Here's combinations of checks. Nisi, longtime viewer, has gone from 23,000 to 50,000. Mark went from 32,000 to this graphic 50 and then 166. And Lorraine, she was at 105 and now she's at 155 and she's still trying to get checks. This is the true success story of this channel. That's just check A, B, and C. Yes, this is just the first 3 categories of checks, which I've had on this channel since March, and viewers are getting them since March. If you found this channel tonight, you're still in store because that money is still available. Become a member right now and go get check A, B, and C. But are you ready? Because I'm moving on to checks E through K. E through K became law by Act of Congress no less than 3 Sundays ago, and let's go over those incredible checks of E and K right now. E through K are all together in the membership newsletter right after check C. E, $7,500. F, $4,000. G is a wonderful 30% off. H, $2,000. I and J each are $8,000. And K, $14,000. Thank you, Congress. That is true incredibleness. But we're not done there yet, because over the last weeks, I continue to look for checks. That's my dedication to you. My research, my effort, all you have to do is just apply for them. Check L and M, found by me 2 weeks ago. And what are they? L is $100,000 on average for the purchase of a home. Loan interest-free money. Incredible. And then M is $4,000 of free money, your money to keep for closing costs grant assistance. Incredible. It's all your money to keep for M. N and O are perhaps the most exciting stimulus I've had on this channel of the entire summer. I know you're going to love N because I've been doing this for 2 years, and this is one of the subjects that people get very excited about. Free internet and free computing devices. N has free internet or discounted internet for millions and millions of Americans. It also has $100 for a brand new laptop, desktop, computer, or tablet. That is insane because most tablets are less than $100. So $100 for a tablet, you are going to get set up beautifully and be ready to rock and roll and apply for a lot of stimulus with that beautiful tablet in your hand. $100 towards a tablet from a participating provider. And if that can't get any better, then we go to Stimulus O. Stimulus O is a 0 down payment, 0 closing cost mortgage, and it also comes with no credit score minimum and also no mortgage insurance required. It is absolutely incredible. And there, my friends, tonight for a beautiful September 6, 2022 are the beautifuls, stimuluses of A through O, $100,000 to $200,000 of stimulus, 100 to 200 checks. You deserve these. All go into the video, become a member, get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, delivered to all members of all 3 channels, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. I want to congratulate Margaret, who became the first triple member of all 3 channels, LALATE 1, LALATE 2, and LALATE 3. I want to congratulate Dragon. She became the second triple member. I want to congratulate Susie. And I want to congratulate Barbara, who became double members overnight. Incredible. If you become a double member to LA 1, 2, or 3, or a triple member to any of the 3 channels, I'm going to give you a shout out on air. And if I missed you as becoming a triple or double member, send me a private message and I'll feature you on air. Remember, the membership newsletter is delivered to all 3 channels members at the same time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts. Now, here is what's important for you to know tonight. And there is so much important to know tonight. It is really the Federal Reserve and those interest rate spikes that are really driving this economy. Which way the interest rate spikes going, which way they're not going. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. But the big other news that everyone has been talking about on this channel is the return of all your favorite programming. On LA2, you have been watching the live show Stimulus Live and really delivering good viewership. Keep on doing it. Jump into Stimulus Live Monday through Sunday, 24/7. It's all 24/7. It runs all days, all nights. But Stimulus Live on LA2 got some new shows today. Did you see them? on LA2 for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. You're going to get 1 hour of your favorite humor programming. At 4 o'clock is Casino Season 1. 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on LA2. Make it a date for you and your friends to sit back and have a laugh as Sirloin, Javita Light, and Blaine 66 reunite in Season 1 of Casino on LA2. That's at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Right after that is a double-decker, because at 4:30, you got Tier 2, starring Blaine 66 in his illustrious role as the assistant to Mitch, is back in Season 1. And he's appearing at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's 7:30 Pacific Eastern Standard Time. That is Tuesday through Wednesday, right after Casino. On Thursday, instead of Tier 2, because there's only 2 episodes, you'll get The Lone Guy at 4:30. If you like those shows, and I know you do, but I want you to show up with your viewership, keep on jumping in, posting and commenting, and doing your virtual skydiving, then I'll deliver more of that humor programming to LA2. And I got a lot of shows ready to deliver to you, and it's just getting started. Then, over to LA3. Are you getting excited? I am. LA3 is heating up. It's been showing you Wall Street Live, that show that goes over what's going on with the markets. But get ready, because coming to LA3 is new programming about the metaverse, new programming about cryptocurrency, and new programming about stocks. I promise you this, that if you become dedicated against stimulus, I will promise to deliver you the programming that'll help you learn more. I need you to jump on to LA3. Please patronize the programming, because we want to be number 1 in the landscape of cryptocurrency coverage, and especially for the metaverse. No one does it better than this channel, and I need you to watch those shows. You don't have to buy cryptocurrency. I make the shows easy, fun, enjoyable, and interactive. Then the more you learn, the better you are at it. It's a lot of fun with a lot of interesting devices, a lot of humor, and a lot of learning. It's on LA3. Watch for the programming announcements coming to there shortly. Let's jump back into J-Pow & Co. This is getting really interesting. J-Pow is about as fascinating as a really interesting metaverse headset. What is happening with J-Pow? Well, J-Pow has been very clear about what he's going to do, and everyone ignored him except you and I. Who ignored him? Wall Street. Wall Street ignored him dramatically. And they basically said that J-Pow is going to change his narrative, and he was not happy with that. Let me go over what happened. The breaking news tonight, I've been reporting for a while, is that the Federal Reserve is going to do 75 basis point increases, in my prediction, at that FOMC meeting of September, October, November, and December, until they get inflation down to 2%. Why is that so obvious? And why is the breaking news tonight that Wall Street continues to ignore those comments from J-Pow? This is a really important situation. Financial stability of the U.S. economy is dependent upon the markets, Wall Street, real estate, similar, staying stable. And to keep those markets stable, the Federal Reserve historically, for many decades, gives you guidance ahead of time what they're going to do. They're going to order $12 ice cream for lunch, they tell you. They're going to order a lobster sauce for lunch, they tell you. They give you a head up before they do it. And Wall Street heard it. They heard it from Fed Governors Bullard and Bowman and Daly. And they ignored it. They flat ignored it. They all said they're going to stay with those interest rate spikes, number one, until they get inflation 2% from where it is right now at 8.5%, and do them indefinitely until they get to 2%. Pretty obvious, right? No. Wall Street said the opposite. The Federal Reserve is going to pivot. The Federal Reserve is going to stop it. The Federal Reserve is going to change course. However you define it, it's the same language over and over again. Federal Reserve heard it, was not happy. And it came to a head when J-Pow spoke at Jackson Hole about 3 weeks ago. He said, "You're not listening to me." In no unspoken words, he said, "I'm going to be a little bit more direct." That was a way to say, listen up, because you're not listening carefully. He said, "I'm going to do those interest rate spikes until we get to 2% inflation." And what did Wall Street say? We were betting against that. We did not embed the risk into the markets. And who has said that first to you? I did. I said there was a big problem that Wall Street had not embedded the risk into the markets of more interest rate spikes from the Federal Reserve. And they don't embed those risks into the market's going to crash. And what happened? The markets crashed. The markets crashed dramatically. And that is why they went down 1,000 points, then 500, then 600, and then been relatively flat ever since. The problem at hand is that the Fed governor since Jay Powell has said the same thing. Loretta Mester, the Fed governor out of New York, Williams, has said, hey, you need to listen to us because we are going to do those interest rate spikes for a while. Now, here's the problem. We're at 8.5% inflation right now, and we need to go to 2%. How quickly are we going to get to 2%? Not in a week, not in 2 weeks. In fact, it's going to take several months. In fact, Mester says it could take us into next year. Do I believe it could take next year? Absolutely. Absolutely. Has Wall Street embedded that risk into the markets? No. This is why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You got to get this money because imagine if you have runaway inflation like this, with your milk and your eggs and your gasoline and your labor and your rent all so high, it could continue into next year. Then what is also going to happen? Interest rate spikes means that your debt will continue to grow left and right. Purple power, you got to eliminate that debt. Purple power, you got to get the stimulus. Purple power, you got to be prepared for the recession, the inflation, and the persistent issues at hand. And how do you do it? You remember, you get as much stimulus as you can by becoming a member. You go into this video and eliminate all your debt that you don't need to carry. You raise your savings and you increase your stimulus. You remove your ARDs, which are adjustable rate debts. The better you prepare your family, as Terry Rose said, thank you, LALATE, the better you are across the board. Because with a 2-year recession, this is not a 2-week recession, it's a 2-year recession. A lot of things could happen, and you don't want those things to happen to you. You want to prepare accordingly. And that's how we do it on this channel. That's how we do it left and right. As we look back over the month of August, what have we seen now going to September? That much of the analysis out there was really wrong. That's why we lead on data. Housing industry, with those analysts saying, well, the price is going to hold up. They didn't hold up. Now, 20% of all homes are slashing prices across the board. Wall Street saying Jay Powell and co. is going to make a Fed pivot. Didn't hold up at all. Wall Street telling you that the stocks are in a bull rally, coming back up. Look at that run from June straight up to the moon. And then they fell apart. And they've been going straight down ever since. Now that they're nearly the lowest lows of the last 52 weeks. And then cryptocurrency, where people are telling you there's a resistance level at Bitcoin at a certain level. And then it breaks under it. And they say that Ethereum is staying above that resistance level. Then it breaks under it. That's why you need correct data. That's why you need correct information. And on LA3, you're going to get it. On LA3, the difference with the cryptocurrency metaverse coverage on there is that you are already more sophisticated, more knowledgeable than the average person. Why? You already know what's going on with the economy, recession, inflation, Federal Reserve. And when you know that, you're better than any crypto broadcaster on the planet. Because if they're only looking at the cryptocurrency, they're only looking at the real estate, they're only looking at the stock, and they don't know what's going on with the Federal Reserve, they're going to lose their shirt. Because all it takes is the Federal Reserve to really hit you with a lot of interest rate spikes, and all those industries, housing, stocks, crypto, fall apart. They didn't see that coming because they weren't watching what you and I watch on this channel. That's why you really need LA3. On LA3, you're going to learn everything about recession, inflation, your money. But more importantly, I need you there. I need you there because it's going to be a great community with programming about everything that gauges your money. I don't want you to go from stimulus check to stimulus check. I don't want you to go from rent check to rent check, utility check to utility check. I need you to improve yourself. And I need you to improve yourself by tuning into programming that's fun, easy to follow, engaging, familiar faces in the live chat that gives you an opportunity to say, I learned something else, and I feel more empowered. Ultimately, it's all about putting you ahead of the game. And you've learned a lot with me on LA1 over the last 2 years. It's now time to learn even more on LA3 and LA2. Of course, coming to LA2, you can learn some humor. And LA3, you can also learn some food, some great recipes. It's time to learn more because that's ultimately what makes you a better person. And you know that's my dedication across the board. Thank you for joining me on another night across this land. Make sure you become a member. Welcome to all the returning members. Again, if you become a double member, triple member, I'll give you a shout out on camera. Become a member right in this video. Purple Hawk, Purple Powercast, VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful night, and stay here as always as the programming continues on LA.